Ever feel like you don't make enough money, have enough money, or like you need more money to do the things you want in life? This is such a common feeling, especially when you're riding the paycheck to paycheck roller coaster with no true idea of what you're doing with your money. It's hard to make decisions, it's hard to stay on budget, it's hard to reach your goals. That's why it can become so easy to push away your budget because it feels pointless. Why should you set goals only to be disappointed because you don't have the money to achieve them? There is always something getting in the way, it feels like. That is why in this episode, I am going to open your eyes to why you feel this way and then share what you can do to stop living this way. So make sure you have a pen and paper handy because you are going to need it today. Go get your drink, open your heart to God, and let's dive in. If you're ready to build wealth, ensure financial security, stop overspending, and finally create a budget you can stick to, you mama are in the right place. Hi, I'm Molly, a budget coach and financial strategist who went from living paycheck to paycheck to paying off debt, saving money, and going on vacation, all by budgeting. And I help mamas just like you budget and create God-centered systems and routines so that you too can have financial freedom. Now stop pinching those pennies and let's dive in. I see you, mama. I feel you. I've been there. And I know what it's like to want to stop riding the paycheck to paycheck roller coaster. To want to stick to your budget, to have consistency with your money, to stop pinching pennies just to make it to the next paycheck, to want to release the stress and overwhelm that money brings you. I know that you want to start building wealth, to start saving money, paying off debt, and have some fun with your money, but it just feels impossible. What if I told you that this could be your reality in just one coaching call? All it takes to start this process is organizing your money, and that's what I help you do. Can you feel the stress melting away? I know I can. This could be your reality, and all it takes is to book a budget coaching session. Don't wait one more minute. Don't sit in that stress and that overwhelm. Get your money organized so that you can start reaching your goals, building your wealth, saving money. Go to www.calendly.com/Molly Bunnell and book your call right now. Now, if you have questions or concerns, or if you'd like to know if this is something that would work for you, you can also send an email to mollybunnell@gmail.com. So that's MOLLY, B as in boy, ENELL @gmail.com. But remember, it's just a matter of time before baby gets here, and I will put a pause on coaching so that I can have some time to heal and focus on baby. So reach out and let's get you started organized now before it's too late. I feel like this thought, this feeling can creep up at every stage of budgeting. However, these days, this truth behind feeling like we have no money stems from the fact that our priorities are not matching up with the goals we are setting. Life is happening, or we're just simply impatient, right? But take it back to where you are. So that's how I feel with my situation. But we're going to take it back to where you're at in your budgeting journey. I remember feeling this way. I remember feeling like I didn't have the money to do anything. I remember becoming discontent with simply living on what I thought was a bare bones budget, and so I just got used to it. But that wasn't the case. No, we didn't have a lot of extra income, which weighed on our patience. But the biggest thing that kept us feeling this way was because we were living paycheck to paycheck. So when you're living paycheck to paycheck, you have inconsistent income and are in feast and famine mode all of the time. You also may have too many expenses, or you feel like your money is burning a hole in your pocket. Like that is my husband 100%. So you go out and you spend your money without thought. And this was the case for us, right? Like this is what happens when you're on this paycheck to paycheck roller coaster. Money will go out just as quickly as it comes in. And that is what I want to help you stop. So let's get into why you feel like you don't make enough money and what you can do to stop it. So why do you feel this way? I've kind of already touched on it a little bit, but let's dig into a little bit deeper. So you may feel like you don't have the money to do anything. You don't have the money to cover your basic needs, to have fun, to build wealth, to get out of debt, to save. You just have enough money to pay your bills and maybe get groceries most days. You know, sometimes you got to pinch pennies on those famine days. And when you do have money, it's gone so fast due to the thing that you needed, but you couldn't get before. So essentially, you're feeling this way because you're living paycheck to paycheck. So let me explain a little bit more about the feast and famine mode, right? Because that can be a little bit confusing. But the feast and famine mode of living paycheck to paycheck, you may have plenty of money to take care of everything that you want to do, including your goals, but you can't see it because when you are living paycheck to paycheck, that means that you are focused on paying your bills first. Now, bills are inconsistent. They are not the same every single paycheck. So when you go and you pay them, one pay cycle, you may be paying $2,000 towards bills, and the next pay cycle may only be $500, right? So if you're getting $3,000 every pay cycle, which is kind of a lot of money, but it's easy math for me, that means that that first paycheck, all right, let's drop it down to $2,500 every paycheck. That's a little more doable. So if you're making $2,500 every pay cycle, that means that if you're putting $2,000 towards debt that first pay cycle, you only have $500 left over to pay for groceries, to pay for everything else like transportation and all the fun things that you want to do. And that's not that much money, right? That can feel like it goes down the drain rather rapidly. And to be able to have free spending money like you want, to be able to do more with your money, it just feels impossible with that small amount of income. You're like pinching pennies and trying to rub them together to make them make more, right? But it's not going to happen. Where on the flip side, if you only have $500 going towards debt the second pay cycle, that means you have $2,000 to put towards all that stuff that you want to do. And it just feels then overwhelming because the last pay cycle, you were pinching pennies trying to just squeeze by to make it to the next paycheck. And the next paycheck, you have so much money, it's coming out your ears, you don't know what to do with it, right? When you are living in that kind of mentality, it is so hard to be able to actually make sense of your money. It is so hard to be able to actually reach your goals, to make plans because it's so inconsistent. It's hard to track. It's hard to keep straight because it just goes wherever it goes and you spend it willy-nilly without thought because you were pinching pennies before and now you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta get this thing before I have no more money the next pay cycle. And it just repeats constantly over and over. And that is where the stress comes from. That is why you feel like you don't make enough money, because living paycheck to paycheck makes that mindset just so difficult to keep track of. Now, there are people out there who are able to keep it straight, who are diligent, who like to do the math constantly, but that is not me. And I like to have consistency in my budgeting, which is what I coach on. It's what I teach about. So if that's something that you'd like to learn more about, definitely reach out to me. But that is why you are feeling like you have no money, because you are living with the paycheck to paycheck, physical actions, but also mentality side of it. And the two together just make it so hard to budget with peace. It's more stressful and overwhelming. So before I go on, I do want to share that if you resonate with these, I don't want you to feel shame, right? I don't want you to feel like there's judgment coming from me, but I simply just want to open your eyes to what is actually happening, right? You feel this way because you're living paycheck to paycheck, which is a cycle that you've just naturally gotten into because you weren't trained or taught how to budget in a way that's less stressful, right? It's just something that you fell into. But then other reasons that you could be struggling with this mindset thought of feeling like you don't have any money is also because you are, your actions, what you are doing is not aligning with your priorities. Life is getting in the way, or you're dealing with impatience, right? Like you want that instant gratification, which is so hard to curb. Like that is just something that we naturally want. We want it to be easy. We want it to be quick. We want it to be done now. And giving in to delayed gratification just feels so hard because it takes so long, and we've gotten into a world where things can be done quickly and easily, and we want that easy button, and money is not an easy button. So I just want you to also know that there's no judgment coming from me. I'm just trying to open your eyes so that you can see why you could be feeling this way and what you can do in order to change that feeling, right? So what is the truth? I've kind of already touched on this, but what is the truth? Do you not make enough money? I highly doubt that. I 100% believe that you do have enough money, that you don't need to go out and make more money. It's just not organized, it's inconsistent, or it's locked up inside of debt or too many living expenses. Again, no shame in that. It's just life. It's the way you do things, and you were never taught how to manage your money in a healthier way, right? But that is the truth, that you do have the money. You just have to do some work to figure out where it is so that you can physically see it, and you can maybe get it out of some of the expenses that it's maybe tied up in, right? So what can you do to change it? More, like I've said, is not the answer. Going and making more money, in fact, will only make things worse unless you learn how to master your money to keep from spending it willy-nilly. So what I mean here is lifestyle creep will creep in. If you have not broken your habits yet, if you have not changed or started to do something different with the way you are managing your money, you will not change that. It will stay the same, so that when you get more money because you think, oh, my problem is I need more, I don't have enough money, I need to make more money. You think the solution is to make more money, but instead you just put it into more debt. You put it into more things that you think you need to buy, which then gets you stuck at a higher price point, but still feeling like you don't make enough money, right? So we need to first figure out what your habits are, right? We need to figure out where you're going awry and get your money on track, get it organized so that you can make changes, so that if you do want to make more money, you can do it without the worry of it getting instantly sucked into something that you want to buy right then and there, right? You don't have to worry about it going bye-bye as soon as it comes in. So the first step that you need to take in order to stop this feeling from happening is to connect with God. Pray, have faith, connect with Him, and trust that He will provide, and learn what that means. So it does not mean that He is going to speed things up for you or give you what you want, but rather make sure that your needs are provided for and to help you make financial decisions, right? Opening your heart, opening your mind to Him by praying, you're allowing Him to speak to you. You're prepping your brain essentially to hear from God, and that is going to help you get out of that mindset, because He's going to help you change it, right? The second thing that you need to do is then organize your money. So by setting up my bill system and my base budget and getting off the paycheck to paycheck roller coaster, you are able to stop living paycheck to paycheck. And I know I kind of just said that, but what I mean here is organizing your money is going to set you up for consistency. It's going to allow you to be able to see what's actually going on with your money, make solid financial decisions, and have repeatable numbers that are easy to follow so that you can go in, easily track it, know where you're at right there in real time versus going in and looking at everything in the past, right? It's easier to see in real time, and that is where you're going to make shifts. That's where you're going to make changes with your mindset and with your physical money, because you are no longer going in that feast and famine cycle. You have consistent numbers because your bills are going to be the same every single pay cycle. This is something that I coach on, so definitely reach out if you want to learn how to make your numbers consistent, how to make your bills the same each and every pay cycle. But that is the key to having money, to feeling like you have the money to do the things that you want to do. When you have consistency, that is also going to take away that feast and famine mindset, because you know that you have money and you can see how much you have. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to get rid of the other feelings, like I said, that I struggle with sometimes, of feeling like I've got too much put into debt, or like I am not aligned with my priorities, or the issue of impatience. But the first step before you can even get to those really is to get out of the paycheck to paycheck life cycle. Like, that is just the number one thing that you need to focus on. And you do that by organizing your money. Okay, so now that you're off the paycheck to paycheck roller coaster, we can dive into a little bit of what you can do to tackle those other feelings if that is an issue for you as well. So to be able to actually align your money with what is a priority, you have to take the time to dig into what is a true priority for you. So look at your budget, look at where your money is actually going. And I'm sure you haven't done this in a while, or maybe at all. So take some time, look at your expenses, do like a 90-day review, and see where your money is actually physically going, because you may be surprised. A lot of people say that the money just goes down the drain because of coffee and all those little expenses, which, yeah, they can add up, but it could be something totally different for you. I'm not somebody who does the little expenses here and there. That's my husband. I make the bigger purchases. And so I'm like, oh, I don't spend as much as my husband. Well, I do. I just save up for a bigger purchase, right? So it may surprise you as to what is actually taking your money that you may not realize is your vice, right? So take some time, dig into what you're actually spending, and then figure out if that aligns with what you actually want to do with your money. Is that how you want to spend it? If it is, okay, keep it the same. But if it's not, and if you're having issues with like feeling like you don't make enough money, then I'm sure that you're probably putting money towards things that you don't actually want that money to go towards. Or you could say, oh, it's not as much of a priority, but this other thing is. So switch it, make the shift, make the tweak, right? The next one that you can do, if you're dealing with impatience, is work on being content with the life you have. Not the next new and shiny object that you want to spend your money on, because instant gratification will get you nowhere. But delayed gratification, if you think about it in the long term, will actually bring you joy and contentment and gratification for the thing that you bought. So what I mean here is, when you have or you give in to buying the impulse buy, whatever it could be. You're happy with it for maybe a day or two. You're just like, oh yeah, I love this kind of thing. And then it kind of gets set down and put away and you forget about it and it goes bye-bye. And this thing that was such a big deal that you had to have right there is no longer a big deal, right? But if you take the time to save up for it or to wait until you actually have the finances to cover the thing without needing to maybe put it into a payment plan or having to wait for it, then when you actually buy the thing, you're going to be so much more grateful for it because you had to work for it. Think about it. The things that you have to work for and you actually get, that is like maybe building a fence or I don't know why that came to mind, or designing your house. Like, you enjoy it and you're so much more appreciative of it when you have to put in the hard work, right? There's so much more joy and it lasts so much longer. But if you just have someone else come in and redo it and then they go out and you're just like, oh, there's a new trend. Now I want to do it this way. And I'm discontent with how I just remodeled my kitchen because of this new trend that came out. It's going to not last long. But if you did the work and you remodeled your kitchen, regardless of the new trend that is fancier or prettier or whatever in the moment, isn't going to matter because you took the time and effort and energy, the sweat equity and the money equity to change up your kitchen and do it yourself. And the feeling of enjoyment is going to last so much longer. That is what the difference is between that instant gratification and delayed gratification. And if you want to actually enjoy and actually get something that means something, delayed gratification is the way to go. Having patience, holding off, because that's going to tell you if what you want to buy is a new and shiny object that's just distracting you, or if it's a true need and expense or maybe even want that you want to buy. And it's not just the next trend or the next new and shiny object. It is something that you actually want. Patience and delaying that purchase is going to bring you so much more joy because it's going to bring you something that you actually want. And it's going to make you work for it, which is how you end up enjoying the things that you buy. Okay, so this is 100% what I help you with. I love to help you organize your money. It's my jam. So definitely reach out so that I can help you get your money organized, especially before baby comes. But getting you out of that paycheck to paycheck cycle is going to help you feel like you have money. You're going to be able to see every dollar and put it into a plan so much easier than when you're in that feast and famine cycle. I can also help you dig into your true priorities and create a list of goals that are actually important to you versus just doing the thing that you've been doing because it's just something that you fell into, right? Let's get out of that and get into something that's actually intentional, into something that you actually want to do. Let's make your money work for you instead of for whatever the money has kind of just slipped into, right? And then I can also help you work on getting out of that instant gratification, right? That is a mindset thing that I can help you with. So don't think that I'm only here to help you organize your money. I'm here to help you make solid financial decisions. I'm here to help you change your habits and create ones that are going to get you to where you want to go, to make you stop or to help you stop feeling like you need more money, when most of the time you don't need more money. You just need to organize it so that you can see what's actually going on. And then you can start making strong, solid financial decisions based off of what it is that you physically can see, right? So if you would like some more help, some one-on-one hands-on help with your budget, then definitely reach out. to me, you can either directly just go get it, save your spot before, the spots are gone with baby coming by going to www.calendly.com/Molly Bunnell. But if you have questions, if you're curious about whether your specific problem is something that I can help you with, then definitely reach out. Send me an email at mollybunnell@gmail.com and let's talk, let's connect, and let's get you organized and out of the overwhelm. Hey mama, I pray that today's episode has inspired you and grew you. If so, will you please share it with that friend who is praying for a budget breakthrough, and leave a rating and review so that you can help get the podcast out to other mamas struggling with their budget. Also, get some support for yourself by joining my free Facebook group and becoming an insider, where you get weekly support emails and are the first to find out when something new is on its way. You can find the links in the show notes, and I will see you right back here next Tuesday.